Hello everyone, welcome to SKU Digital Classes. This is Nivedita Alexander from Department of English, and today we are going to take one more new topic from part of speech, and that is pronoun. In our previous video we already studied about what are the nouns. Today we are going to study about what are the pronouns. This is the very first unit in your grammar portion of English. So let's go ahead with the definition. What are pronouns? Pronouns. If you say pro, the word pro itself means which comes before. That means any word which comes before the noun is a pronoun. No, it is not completely appropriate. Actually, pronouns are the words which replaces the noun to avoid the repetition of a noun. Avoiding the repetition of a noun, you all know what the noun is. For example, if a person, as I have given the example here, if you can see, Harry is a noun, or Harry is sleeping, Harry will wake up in the morning. So instead of saying Harry multiple times or twice in a sentence, you can replace it as he. When a person is masculine, you can replace the masculine nouns as he or him, and if it is a feminine, it will be she or her. Okay, so this is how the pronoun works. When it comes to the non-living things, it will be it, they, and so on. Now we will also understand if there are plural pronouns, how are we going to address them. Okay, now coming on to, if we see, Harry is absent because he is ill. Here, if you see, you can see ill is he is replacing Harry. You could have written the sentence in Harry is absent because Harry is ill. So instead of repeating Harry twice, you are replacing it with a pronoun. So this is a pronoun here. Okay, he is a pronoun here. Now example, some of the examples of pronoun is I. If I say I am Nivedita, if I say Nivedita, then I will say I instead of repeating Nivedita over and over again when I am in a conversation or in a sentence. If I have to, if supposedly I am talking to Ram, so Ram is a second person, I'll say Ram, what are you doing? Ram is going to speak to me. Instead of repeating Ram over and over again, you are going to speak to me, right? You can say, replace the noun as a pronoun. He, she, he is masculine, she is feminine. It is also used, always used for the non-living things. Okay, her again for the feminine gender. This, that, these are kind of the demonstrative pronouns. We are going to study what the demonstrative pronouns are. These demonstrative pronouns show the distance or the location or the place, whether the thing is kept close or far. So we are going to study that also. Now who, when, which, these kind of words are generally called the question words, but when they are used as a question word, they come under the interrogative pronoun, but when they are not under the question word, they also serve the purpose of conjunction, generally informally, not formally. Okay, so these are some kind of pronouns. Ourselves, self is a plural word, ourself, myself is a singular. So ourselves is a reflective pronoun. Why you say reflective? When we are talking about ourselves, we are reflecting back. If we are the subject reflects back while talking about themselves. So here is ourselves. So these kind of pronouns are the kinds of pronouns which we are going to study later on in the forthcoming slides. Let's see how many types of pronouns are there. So there are generally 7 types of pronouns. First is personal pronoun. Now what is personal pronoun? The personal pronouns are I am a person, the person whom I'm speaking to is a person, and the person I'm speaking about is also a person. So these are segregated as first person, second person, and about third person. So if you see here, Personal pronoun is first, second, and third person. Okay? First person, I, who is one who is speaking. Second person, about whom, second person, to whom I am speaking, and third person, about whom we are speaking. So, possessive pronoun, it is possession. When comes to possession, means ownership. If this pen, okay, this pen is Harish's pen, this pen is his pen, this pen is Sheila's pen, this pen is hers pen. So, this pen belongs to me. So, his, her, me, these are the possession. Means who is owning the thing, who is owing the thing, whom does the thing belongs to. These reflects the words which shows the ownership. So, we are going to study this in detail as by and by we come across the forthcoming slides. Coming on to reflexive. Reflex means, see, in a sentence structure, the most basic sentence structure, if you see, there is a subject, there is could be or could not be an auxiliary verb. We will take this forward, what the auxiliary verbs are, a detailed presentation on that as well. Then there could be a main verb, and then there is an object. Okay. Now, when a subject speaks about the subject, for example, I say I, and then I am speaking something about myself. So, this word which I just now said, myself, that is called a pronoun. Means it is exactly like the mirror image. What you see is reflecting back. So, subject is speaking about the subject. Example, I myself witnessed the incident. So, I am speaking about myself. I myself witnessed the incident. At the same time, these kind of reflexive, this is reflex action, right? Reflex action. Subject is reflecting on the subject. At the same time, these same words, same pronoun can also be used as emphatic. Now, what are emphatic pronouns? Emphatic pronouns means to highlight something, to emphasize something. Just understand the meaning of the word and you will understand what type of a pronouns. Like, give me one moment. Here, okay? You are emphasizing on something. You are emphasizing or focusing or highlighting. Okay? You are focusing or highlighting on something. Like, so the same word like myself becomes an emphasis. You know, I am emphasizing myself. He himself know what he has done. You are emphasizing, right? So these kind of words are emphatic. Demonstrative, they are also a category of a determiner which we are going to study in a forthcoming presentation. It's also one of the topic in your grammar. Determiners, the type of determiner is demonstrative. For demonstrative, in singular and plural, first which shows the position, demonstrates the position, okay? Demonstrates the position. Position, not possession. Possession is ownership. Position is the location. It's demonstrating the position of an object, whether or anything, person, animal, object, anything, whether it's close or it's far. There are 4 types, depending on singular and plural. We are going to study it in detail in the forthcoming slide. Interrogative, wherever the word interrogative comes, means questioning. interrogating or questioning. It always has to begin with the capital letter and the sentence always have to end with the question mark. That's very important. So these can begin with the WH words. We are going to study further what the WH words are. There are also an exception, like how is an exception which is not WH, it starts with H. However, interrogation can also be, the interrogative sentences can also be created by putting, I told you the basic structure of a sentence: main verb, subject, auxiliary verb, main verb plus object. So by putting the auxiliary verb before the subject, it becomes an interrogative sentence. So the sentence structure changes as auxiliary verb plus subject plus main verb plus object plus extension, whatever extension you want to give to the sentence. Okay, so this is how the basic sentence structure are. Let me quickly give you a briefing about what auxiliary is, am, are, was, were, did, does, do, has, had, have. These are the basic auxiliary verbs. As of now, just remember that. So here it comes the interrogative. So two ways you are making the interrogative sentence. One, by putting the auxiliary verb in front of a subject in the basic sentence structure. Secondly, by the question words. What are the question words? What are the question words? Like WH words. And one of the exception is how, which is a question word, but it is not a WH word. Remember that, okay? Now, relative pronoun, it shows, as the word reflects, it shows the connection. Connection between the subject and the subject, between the object and the object, between the subject and the object. Could be anything, or the subject and the verb, main verb, or the object and the main verb. So the basic function is to show the connection. Okay, so this is the basic function. Now coming on to the cases, nominative cases like Ram's brother, nominating, whose brother? It shows the nomination. Nomination means name, okay, name. Whose sister is she? She is Sheila's sister. So here Sheila becomes the nominative case, and here in this sentence, I am Ram's brother. Ram becomes the nominative case. It's showing whom you are connected to, right? The connection is being shown here. So Ram's brother, that is a nominative case. Accusative case, accusation, the blame, okay? Anything which goes in the negative sense, like hating, you know, he's a felon, felony. So these kind of words which shows the hatred or the accusation are considered under the accusative cases. Coming on to the possessive cases, as I told you, the word possession means ownership. So just understand the meaning of the word and you will understand the whole concept. Here, possessive case, the pen is mine, mine, right? This is a possessive pronoun. What will be the adjective of this pronoun? My. So if I ask you to change this sentence into an adjective, the pen is mine, this is my pen. So my becomes a possessive adjective, and if you want to convert into pronoun, the pen is mine, that becomes a possessive pronoun. Clear? Come on, now let's go ahead and see what the first personal pronoun is. The personal pronoun refers to the person, as I told you, the first person, second person and the third person. First person to the one who is speaking, who is doing all the talk. Second person, the one who is listening, to whom you are speaking to. And third person, about whom you are speaking to. It could be It could be a thing, it could be a person, it could be a place, it could be an animal, it could be a non-living thing, anything. So this is how you differentiate here. I have given a table. For example, Jim forgot his hat. Jim forgot his hat. That is a personal pronoun. He's talking about himself, his hat. Jim and his. Instead of the repetition, Jim forgot Jim's hat, we are saying his. So his becomes a pronoun here. Okay. Coming on to here. See, singular and plural. I, we, right? Me, us. Mine, ours or our. Ours is the contraction of apostrophes, right? We don't use apostrophe. Wherever the apostrophe is used, it is used in the way of it is. For example, one example of contraction. This is the best example, and most of the people make mistake here. The difference in it, its, and its. There is no apostrophe s here. Remember, this is the contraction of it is. Clear? It is. And this s, where there is no apostrophe, that shows the possession or ownership. So if supposedly I am saying it is her pen, this pen is hers. We are not using her as an apostrophe. We are not doing that. This will be wrong. Give me a moment. Let me make it more clear. This is wrong. You are going to use it hers. This is right. And this shows the possession. Okay, this way. Now he, they, him, he and him for masculine, he, him and his all for masculine, she, her and hers all for, for feminine. Now hers is a possession. This pen is hers, okay? Similarly, their and theirs, the same case with here also. If you see person wise, the person first, the gender, we are taking feminine, masculine and neuter genders. So first person, I, second person, you, third person in feminine gender, she, third person in masculine gender, he, third person in neuter gender, generally most of the living things, it. Then this is the singular part. How can you use it in the plural part? First person, we, second person, you. Now you is plural and singular as well. Similarly, have is used for the singular person. I have is correct. If you are using has, this is an exception in grammar, remember that. One moment. Although I is singular, but you will not use has with I. This is wrong. You will always use have with I. This is an exception. Generally, have is used with plural. Have is always an exception. Similarly, you is singular as well as plural. They always plural. So these are the exception. Generally, people make mistake in this. They say, I has gone to somewhere. No, that's wrong. I have always. You is used both for singular and plural. So in that case, how you can differentiate whether you is used for the single person or a multiple person or more than one person? It is how you have to check the subject, whether the subject is one or there are multiple subjects, or the object is one or there are multiple objects. That's how you have to have a complete sentence in front of you to understand whether this you is used as singular or plural. Okay. Now coming on to the next slide, possessive pronoun, as I already told you, is always ownership. Who owns anything, right? So possessive pronoun is a pronoun that is used to indicate possession or ownership. Position is different, possession is different. Now, as I already told you, the adjective, how to convert the adjectives, possessive ownership adjectives into possessive ownership pronouns. This is the complete table. Here is some examples. The pen is my pen. Now, my pen, instead of repeating pen over and over again, you can replace it with a possessive pronoun. How you can do that? This pen is mine. Now, see, in the first sentence, you are repeating pen, 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 right? And the basic function of pronoun is to replace the repetition or to avoid the repetition of a noun. So, pen is a noun, think, pen is a noun, pen is a noun. You are avoiding and using just one pen one time and replacing it with the pronouns. See? The pronoun yours, yours, mine, mine. So, you are replacing it with this. So, here are her, hers, its, this is, see, this is an exception, one, okay. Both are its, right? My, mine, his, her, hers, its. This is an exception, remember. For both it is same. Our, ours, your, yours, their, theirs. Clear? Okay, fine. Coming on to the next pronoun, which is reflexive. As I told you, what happens? Reflex action, right? The mirror image, reflection. You get the reflection. So when the subject talks about the subject, then it is a reflexive pronoun. Simple, very simple. The pronoun is used when the subject performs action. You are performing action on the subject himself. The subject works as an object also. So subject is also working as an object. Example, I is a subject. Now if I have to talk about I will not say I gave I. Instead, I will say I gave myself 12 weeks to get in shape. So these words like myself, see, are reflecting on the subject. This is a subject, as you all know. Gave is a verb, and this becomes an object. See, subject becomes an object. That's what they are saying, no? Subject becomes an object. It works as an object. So subject is working as an object, and subject is talking about subject. So whatever action is being happening, the subject is talking about the action being performed on the subject itself, and that's why it is reflecting back. It's bouncing back. That's how. You should buy yourself. Diane bought herself a new pair of shoes. Herself. If you divide the sentence, this is ideally, if you say two parts of a sentence. First part is called a main clause, which is independent, does not depend on anything. It is also called an independent clause. Second part is subordinate clause, which is always a dependent clause, because to understand the complete meaning, you have to understand what is being said about whom. If you do not understand, what will you understand by half a sentence? A new pair of shoes. What sense does it make? Nothing. So, this part is depending here. So, if you say in the first part of a sentence, in the main clause, Diane is a subject and Diane is an object also who is performing an action on herself. So, herself becomes a pronoun. So, instead of the repetition of this word noun, Diane is a noun, you are not repeating the word Diane. Instead, you are using a pronoun which is herself. So, this exactly is the way how it functions. Reflexive pronouns doesn't function as a subject of a sentence generally. These never functions as a subject. They may function as an object, but never as a subject. Herself bought Diane, that would be a wrong sentence, obviously, you can understand, okay. A bit of common sense rule with grammar works a long way. Coming on to the next one, reflexive. Emphatic. Now, what is the meaning of emphatic? To emphasize on something, to focus on something or highlight something. Now, in the previous slide, we saw these words as a reflexive pronoun. How the same words function in a different way by emphasizing something. So, any kind of a pronoun can have multiple functions, right? Here they are having the function of reflection. In this, the same pronouns will have a function of emphasizing. So, they are not reflecting on the subject, subject is not reflecting on the action being performed on themselves, but they are reflecting, focusing that what is exactly happening. You are giving more weightage on something which is happening or going to happen or will happen or had happened, anything. Now, the compound personal pronoun are used for the sake of emphasize, and hence they are called emphatic pronoun. They are emphasizing, they are highlighting, they are focusing. And the main thing, they generally, this is very important, usually placed immediately after the noun or a pronoun, or can be at a distance. Example, see, I am a subject and I am a noun as well, right? I am a pronoun. I am a noun, a pronoun, serving as a pronoun. One moment. So, I am a subject. I am a subject here, okay? And this is immediately after the noun, okay? Usually placed immediately after the noun. So, this is an emphasizing. When I place it immediately after the noun, I am emphasizing myself. Now, it is not reflection. When reflection is when the main verb comes in between. Main verbs comes in between this pronoun and this pronoun, then it becomes a reflection. There is a mirror, right? That's where it is reflecting. But when there is no main verb, it is immediately coming after the subject. The same pronoun becomes the emphatic pronoun. Why? Because it is emphasizing on myself, okay? Witness the incident. So, these kind of pronouns can be placed in a sentence in two ways. Immediately after the subject, as it is here, or at a distance of a subject, like I witnessed the incident, and you can say myself. So, it is at the distance. Can you see that? Do you want to repeat that? I witnessed the incident myself. So, I am putting focus on myself, right? Here I am not reflecting my action, but I am putting the focus on myself, and hence I am using these kind of pronouns. Now, why here if you see compound, why this word compound is used? See, our is one, selves is two. Two are combining together, that is compound. My for the singular, my is one, self is two. So, there are two pronouns, right? Myself. That's why it is called compound personal pronouns. Singular and plural, very easy. Whenever to convert from singular to plural, if it ends with F, you have to omit F, and replace it with we plus es. See? So, here also F is omitted. What the hell is happening? Give me a moment. So, here F is omitted and replaced with we, and es is added here. That's how you convert the singular pronouns to the plural pronouns. Very easy. Him or her becomes them, selves. Itself becomes themselves. See here, this is important. See, both becomes themselves. Okay, it will not be itself, wrong. Clear? Coming on to the demonstrative pronouns, there are 4 types. If a thing is close, then it is this. If a thing is far, then it is that, right? This is if one thing or one person or one city or any noun or pronoun. When when there are multiple things or more than one thing, if it's plural, plural things close, these, and plural things far, those. Very simple, very easy. This is one of the part of determiners also. When we talk about determiners, so determiners, it's one of the category of determiner, demonstratives, which demonstrate the position, the location, where it is located, close, far, near, far, up, down. These are demonstratives, right? It is used to indicate any noun, this, that, these, those are the demonstrative pronouns. Simple, easy, nothing different. Same thing which I explained to you. This is used to indicate the subject or an object which is kept far and is in singular. That which is this which is close and is singular, and subject or an object which is far and is singular. These indicates the plural subject or an object which is nearby, those which is plural subject or an object which is far away. Okay. Now, demonstrative pronouns are used to replace the noun with which adjectives are used along with nouns. How? These are my shirts. Okay. Now, mine will be replaced with a pronoun. This is an adjective. As I told you, my is an adjective, not a pronoun. If you have to shift the sentence into a pronoun, this is incorrect. See, this is an adjective, this is not a pronoun, and this is a pronoun. Okay, remember that. Coming on to the next slide. Interrogative, as I told you, very important, a big question mark. A big question mark. Whenever there is a question being asked, the interrogation is being made, it is an interrogative sentence. Two ways. One, using the question words. These are the question words. Another way, as I told you, the basic structure of a sentence is subject plus auxiliary verb plus main verb plus object. When you replace this auxiliary verb in front of a subject, add a question mark at the end, it becomes a question sentence. So this is how the questions are formed. We are going to focus on, see, Ram is sleeping today, okay? Ram is sleeping on the bed. Bed is an object. Clear? On the bed, this is a demonstrative. It's showing the position, under or on. It's showing the position. This is a demonstrative pronoun. Is an auxiliary verb. Ram is a subject. And sleeping is a main verb. So when you put this auxiliary verb in front of a subject, it becomes is Ram sleeping on the bed. Okay, so and then question mark. The same sentence, Ram is sleeping on the bed. Is Ram sleeping on the bed? The same sentence become an interrogative, a question sentence. So this is how you convert the basic sentence into an interrogative sentence. Besides, you can always use a question words. These are the question words. Who is used as whom and whose depending on the sentence structure. Is used and ask the question about the object in the sentence. Whenever you are asking the object, which comes at the end, then you are using whom. But if you are using want to understand the relationship, the connection, or the relativity, or the ownership, or the possession, then you are using the word whose. Basic examples are given here. Who are playing football? Who means person, who are playing football. Whom, you are talking about the object. Who has cheated? Okay. Now, who is this? Whose bike is this? Whose is this bike, or whose bike is this? Anything. Both are correct. Okay. Then which generally is used for the non-living things, not for a person, place, or not for a person, not for the living things, and is used to ask choice of the noun, choice, first choice of the noun, which is your pen. Now there must be multiple pen, you have to choose one, which one is yours. So this is basically used for the choice of the noun. Okay. More words. What is used to ask about the subject, like what is your name? What is your name? Then if you see here, where. Okay, here. Where is mostly used to understand the location, where, the position. Now possession and position, the location, where any object is located. Where is Eiffel Tower located? Where is Empire State Building located? So you are using this to locate the position of a city, object, person, anything. Okay. When, the time, main, very important, time. See? Okay. Now, position, location, when same where becomes a conjunction in a sentence also when it is put in between the sentence, right? When between the main clause and the subordinate clause of a sentence, it becomes the conjunction. The same where becomes the conjunction. If you see here, I went back to store where I bought the book. Now see, I went back to store is a main clause, and this where is put in between, so this is serving as a conjunction. This is not serving as a question mark. So where is a conjunction here when it is put, when the same question word is put in front of a sentence, it makes it a question sentence or interrogative sentence, and when the same word is put in between the main and the subordinate clause, it becomes the conjunction. It is joining two clauses, two parts of the sentence together and making it one. Okay, this becomes the question. See, there is no question mark here. It's just an example given. This comes under the conjunction part, but here what's happening here is it's a question, right? So that's why I have put the question mark, very important. Coming on to the next one, why. Why is generally used to ask the question about the subject or an object. Simple. Why are you here? Why does she want to join us? About a person. Okay. Then this is the exception question word, which is not a WH word. It is not a part of the WH word. How, that is used again to ask the question about the main verb. It is asking the question about what the main, not the auxiliary verb, not the helping verb. Helping verb and auxiliary verb are same thing. It is asking the question about the main verb. So, how can I swim with such, he swim with such perfection? How is her health now? So, these are the question interrogative pronouns. The next pronoun we are going to see is the relative pronoun, and relativity always showing the connection, the relationship. Okay. Relationship or the connection here. Or connection. Relationship or connection. Can you see this? The relative pronoun is a type of pronoun that often introduces independent or relative clause. What is an independent clause? The first part of the sentence is called an independent clause. That means the main clause, right? The main clause is an independent clause which does not depend on the subordinate clause to understand the complete meaning. it itself gives the whole meaning, right? So here they also can stand alone as a subject or an object. The main clause are standing alone. Alone. See, there is a park in New York. It is making complete sense. But if you see, it is the Central Park. Which is the Central Park? You don't know, right? So this part is depending on the first part. That's why main clause is an independent clause and it does not depend on any clause for the complete meaning, right? But the subordinate clause, the latter clause, that depends on the main clause to give the complete sense, and that's why they are called dependent clause. Okay, similarly, same thing is being explained here. The sentence, some of the relative pronouns are, as you see this, the same question, interrogative word, right? The WH questions are now functioning as the relative pronoun who, generally for people. This is a boy, he is my friend. Now it is when it's acting as a conjunction, and hence it is showing the relationship, and hence it is called the relative pronoun. Who, if you bring this who in front of this, replace this with the same who and bring it here, it will become an interrogative sentence, but here it is acting as a conjunction. So this is showing the relationship of two clauses, of two people, of two nouns or two pronouns, okay? Which generally for this non-living things which are non-living, there is a park in New York, it is a Central Park. The park which is in New York is a Central Park. This is joining the two sentences, and instead of the repetition, it is making it as one, the pronoun, okay? That again, see? But this is generally used in more of the informal way, not very formal. So try avoiding, when you are talking to some official people, try avoiding using that, okay? However, this is completely grammatically correct, okay? Look at my car I bought yesterday. Look at the car that I bought yesterday. Simple, right? It's making a sentence more simple just by joining one thing. My car, I. So two pronouns are being replaced by just one, that. Whom is used for people, objects and prepositions. Now we will take this topic again. Add possessions. There are two types of add position. One is preposition and one is postposition. That will be a topic in our next video. Then this is the boy, I want to see him. This is the boy whom I want to see. Clear? Whom. Here. Whose generally shows the possession, ownership. This is the boy, I borrow his book. See, this is the boy. 1, 2, his, 3. Three times, right? Pronouns are being used 3 times. How it can be replaced and make it in one? This is a boy whose book I borrowed. Simple. So these are working as the conjunction, and conjunction means joining something or connecting something or showing the relationship. That's why they are called relative pronoun. Your relatives, your sister is your relative, your brother is your relative, your cousin is your relative. They relate something. The relation could be between the object, the towns, the place, the thing, any kind of a noun, you name it. Okay? Wherever, this is the house, I lived there when I was a child. This is the house where I lived as a child. And when is used generally for the time, allocation of time. I will always remember the day we met, that day. So two clauses, see, two. I will always remember the day when we met. So we met that day when we met. It shortens the sentence. So here we comes to the end of our topic pronoun. We are going to take adjective in our next video. Till then, stay tuned. Please subscribe our channel. Have a good day. Bye-bye.